Are you ready for another Haven breakdown? I ran out of red arrows and circles, but we'll have to make do. This video will be split into two chapters, non-spoilers and book spoilers. Let's begin with the non-spoiler breakdown. The teaser opens with Rhaenyra watching over Shipbreaker Bay, and we can see Storm's End in the distance. This is where her son Lucerys died. She's grieving, or perhaps looking for a body. This appears to be the same scene that this official image is from. She's also got new drip this season. And speaking of drip, hello Aegon. While he bears the Conqueror's crown, he's moved on from Coronation Black to Civil War Green, in honour of his Hightower heritage. As Lara Strong helpfully explained, the fires of the Hightower burn green during times of war, and the faction supporting Aegon are called the Greens. In the book, Aegon's personal coat of arms is a golden dragon on black. In the show, it appears to be a golden dragon on green, as we can see on his clothing and banners later on. The golden dragon, of course, represents his own beautiful beast, Sunfire, who we briefly see in episode 7 of season 1. Two characters we haven't met march behind him. They might be his friends at court or new members of his council. We also see 4 Kingsguard. Sir Criston Cole and Sir Aric Cargill are loyal to Aegon, and according to the latest official casting announcement, Vincent Regan has been cast as Sir Rickard Thorne, another one of Aegon's Kingsguard from the book. Here we see Daemon's helmet from season 1, although minus the dragon wings. His armour looks similar to the first season but slightly bulkier. In this shot, his hair appears to be longer than other shots, probably representing a passage of time, although there won't be any major time skips in this season. This Targaryen encampment may be our first look at Team Black's official sigil, the classic Targaryen red dragon on black. In the book, her personal coat of arms were designed on Microsoft Paint, the Targaryen dragon quartered with the Valyrian seahorse in honour of her children, as well as the Arryn Moon and Falcon in honour of her mother, Emma. Hightower soldiers, displaying the green wartime banners of House Hightower. We see some new sigils too, on these bloodied shields, the Lamb of House Stokeworth and the red chevronels of House Rosby. These are both Crownland houses, directly sworn to the Iron Throne. We know that the Velaryons and Celtigars and Stauntons and Darklands have declared for Rhaenyra, but we haven't yet heard from the Stokeworths and Rosbys. It looks like Aegon II's golden dragon is in the background, so that may answer any questions. Criston Cole is back and he's got a fresh trim. It definitely helps age him up a bit. In classic Criston style, he's busy murdering someone, although this time it looks like an official execution. He's also wearing a chain of golden hands, the same one worn by Tyrion Lannister during the Battle of the Blackwater. We cut to a council ball spinning like one of my ADHD fidget toys. I think this might be Aegon II. He's probably never attended the small council before, so this might be a display of his boredom. He looks slightly less bored when sitting on the Iron Throne. Along with his crown, it's yet another symbol of legitimacy. Rhaenyra, meanwhile, has her own symbol, the crown of Viserys himself. I love the little dragon shoulder pads. There's so much drip in this trailer, it's leaking onto my desk. The dragon show produces another dragon moment, a grey beast with pink wings, so probably sea smoke, flying over this gentleman, Adam of Hull, played by Clinton Liberty. Sea Smoke is currently riderless because Laenor is living it up in Essos, if he didn't die during the time skip, that is. More green soldiers here. We see Rosby shields again, as well as an adaptation of the House Darklyn banner, which is interesting because, as I said earlier, House Darklyn has already sworn fealty to Rhaenyra. While the Greens are fighting, the Blacks are looking awkward around the painted table. Perhaps some bad news has dropped. We get our only shot of Corlys, which is a shame, but we also got an official still where he's standing by the painted table. Now we have the greatest shot of the entire trailer. Daemon appears to be executing someone in front of a weirwood tree. Interestingly, his Valyrian blade Dark Sister is in its sheath, so he's using a second sword. Meanwhile, the Daemon cosplayer is cautiously walking up to the Iron Throne. Will he risk sitting on it like Daemon did in episode 1? After all, he believes himself to be more suited for the job than Aegon ever was. While Aegon was out partying, he studied the blade. It wouldn't be Game of Thrones without men on horseback trekking through the snow. We know Jace wants to negotiate with Lord Cregan Stark, so perhaps this is the North. Alicent standing by the river is perhaps the most intriguing shot of the whole trailer. Something about it feels strange, almost dreamlike. Here, Rhaenyra and her dragon Syrax are facing down another dragon, and presumably its rider. The beast looks grey, so it's possibly Sea Smoke, although it could be the unclaimed silvery dragon Silverwing. If it is Sea Smoke, this man might be Laenor, or someone else entirely. Here we see the dragon pit from outside of the city. Here we see Queen Helena wearing a veil, and if you've seen my livestream it took me an embarrassing amount of time to work that one out. And here we see some sort of procession, a carriage, a knight on horseback, and a cheeky drummer. Next up, a member of the Kingsguard riding through the woods, perhaps Sir Criston himself. There's a battle going down. I love this horse's helmet, look at the unicorn horn rising from the seven-pointed star. We see yet another Rosby shield and men consumed by dragonfire. Daemon's eldest daughter Baela is screaming in rage on the back of her dragon, Moondancer, who we haven't seen yet. Cut to chaos in King's Landing. Look at this filthy peasant daring to touch our queen, how rude. This moment is where the Bracken stands got hype. All 12 of them. This person is bearing the red stallion of House Bracken, a Riverlands house. We previously saw Gerald Bracken talk shit and get hit after taunting Willem Blackwood. Perhaps the infamous Bracken-Blackwood rivalry will have a part to play in this war. More dragonfire at nighttime, a different battle from the one in the woods. This may be connected to the following shot of Daemon on Craxes surrounded by darkness. A man places a blade to Helena's neck. Sir Criston does a sweet Daemon impression by beating a man with his helmet, and one of the Cargill twins is engaged in a bloody fight in what appears to be a bedroom. Aemond and Rhaenyra are on Dragonback, which may be the same scene or just deceptive trailer editing. And then the teaser ends with the monstrous Vhagar flying overhead. Over the course of the teaser we hear 3 lines of dialogue. Otto states that errors were made in the hours following King Viserys' death, which is the understatement of the century. By errors, is he referring to Lord Beesbury's death? Or perhaps even Lucerys' death? If so, it's very in character for Otto to describe murder as errors. Or perhaps it's the opposite. The errors were Alicent's refusal to assassinate Rhaenyra and her family, which may have prevented this entire war. Who knows, maybe it's just a meta-commentary on episode 9. After this, Alicent says, "The war will be fought, many will die, and the victor will eventually ascend the throne," which is a nice little summary of, I guess, the entire story. And finally, Rhaenys tells Rhaenyra that there is no war so hateful to the gods as a war between kin, and no war so bloody as a war between dragons. Kinslaying is the ultimate Westerosi taboo, and there's no need to explain why nuclear flying lizards fighting each other in the sky is a bad idea. Now let's move on to the spoilery breakdown. I'll be referencing Fire and Blood and some of the leaks that have come out. So this man to the left of Aegon looks like Barney Fishwick, who's been spotted on set with this man on the right, Ralph Davis. According to the leaks, Barney is playing Martin Rain, while Ralph is playing Leon Estamont. They've been spotted with the actor Tock Stephen, who is apparently playing Eddard Waters. These are show-only characters. Martin Rain may be an envoy from the Westerlands, Leon Estamont may be an envoy from the Stormlands, and Eddard Waters could be Vaemond Valarian's bastard son, an amalgamation of the Silent Five, the sons of Vaemond who had their tongues cut out by Viserys and fought for Aegon II. I've already talked about Sir Rickard Thorne being cast. He's the one who takes Prince Maelor to safety, but gets them both killed by the mob. His presence could indicate that they're keeping Prince Maelor, but if not, he'll probably serve another role. The other 2 Kingsguard we know of at this point would be Sir Willis Fell, who goes on to become Lord Commander for Aegon III, or Sir Giles Belgrave, who takes part in the poisoning of Aegon II. The room Daemon's in looks dilapidated, so I think it's probably Harrenhal after he's taken it. One of the still images shows Daemon at a table in his armour, with the longer hair, so it might be the same scene. He might be getting ready for battle, or perhaps he's storming out of a conversation. There was a leaked audition tape for Emily Beecham, which has long been nuked from the internet, but she was auditioning for a character called AR, which is clearly Alice Rivers. The man she talks to gets pissed off, so perhaps that audition extract is taken from this scene. Daemon is getting angry at Alice and storming away. These Hightower soldiers remind me of the rumours that we won't be seeing Daeron and Tessarion this season. If they're saving the Reach plot for season 3, these could be reinforcements coming to the Crownlands. These battle scenes are either the sack of Duskendale or the Battle of Rook's Rest. Lord Rosby and Soakworth are initially Team Black, but they're imprisoned in King's Landing, so they switch allegiance to Aegon to avoid execution. They later switch back to Rhaenyra, who has them beheaded. Criston Cole is working that hand necklace, so this must be after he's named Hand by Aegon. Because he's an Alicent simp in the show, this could be the result of an internal palace coup performed by Alicent, replacing Otto as Hand and ruling through Criston by proxy. The beheading itself is either Lord Gunthor Darklyn following Duskendale, or Lord Simon Staunton following Rook's Rest. We meet Lord Staunton in episode 10, and this guy has more hair, so either they've recast him or it's definitely Lord Darklyn. Adam of Hull looking up at sea smoke is definitely foreshadowing his Dragonseed plotline. In fact, his casting puts an end to the theories that Laenor will return in disguise and be Adam of Hull himself. All of the battle shots in the trees are definitely connected to Rook's Rest, where Rhaenys dies, because we see Vhagar flying overhead later on. This one is interesting. Rhaenyra looks shocked, Rhaenys looks uncomfortable, and I can't quite read Daemon. Has she just received news of Jaehaerys' death? And if so, that implies she's not as involved as some readers speculate. Who's Daemon beheading here? There's a Godswood in Harrenhal, so he might be beheading a Strong, but in the book he takes Harrenhal bloodlessly. This could be the King's Landing Godswood, in which case he may be beheading a green traitor like Jasper Wilde, or, judging by the furious look on his face, Otto Hightower himself. If the fall of King's Landing is at the end of this season, they're definitely pushing the Battle of the Gullet to season 3, which many people have speculated about. Aemond could be walking up to the throne here after he's been declared Prince Regent, following Aegon's injuries at Rook's Rest. I would like to see him have a little regent crown though, that would be cool. These might be Northern soldiers escorting Jace to Winterfell, or our first look at Roddy the Ruin's Winter Wolves. It could even be the Night's Watch. According to the leaks, we are going to see the Watch. Perhaps some nice member berries for the audience, or perhaps because Rhaenyra has told Jace about the Song of Ice and Fire prophecy, and he's going to relay it onto Cregan. As I said before, I have no clue about this Alicent scene. My current assumption is that it's post Blood and Cheese, and she's grieving, perhaps mirroring Rhaenyra watching over Shipbreaker Bay earlier. Here Rhaenyra is probably facing off with Adam of Hull and Seasmoke. Is she training him? Is she angry because he claimed Seasmoke without permission? Or is she realising that Laenor must be dead? Helaena is wearing her veil as part of the funeral procession following the death of Prince Jaehaerys. So is Rhaenys telling Rhaenyra about the danger of dragon warfare to dissuade her from taking part in battle? In Fire and Blood, Rhaenyra famously does not engage in dragon fights, although we do see her on Dragonback later on, so she may have been brought into Rook's Rest along with Baelor. Perhaps those two will be distracting Vhagar, while Rhaenys and Aegon will go head to head. Baelor looks furious, so it could be she's witnessed her grandmother's death. Such a scene would give more weight to the Sunfire versus Moondancer fight at Dragonstone later on in the story. This Bracken may confirm that we'll see the taking of Stonehenge after the Brackens side with Aegon and the Blackwoods side with Rhaenyra. We may see Lord Humphrey Bracken from Season 1, or Amos Bracken from the book. Yeah, this is definitely Cheese holding Helaena. The leaks say that Cheese will be played by Mark Stobbart, and you can see the similarity. Blood is played by Sam C. Wilson. If Prince Maelor is cut from the show, then the choice will probably be between Jaehaerys and Jaehaera, and Helaena will choose her son over her daughter, but they will kill the son anyway. Which won't be a controversial change at all. I personally wouldn't mind, but I can see people being annoyed if they cut out Maelor. Cargill Bowl, get hype. This is either Sir Aric or Sir Eric fighting the other twin. He looks furious, so I doubt they're gonna sadly die in each other's arms like in the songs. There we have it. For more Hot D videos and animated A Song of Ice and Fire lore, subscribe to the channel and like this video. I'll be working on some animated Hot D book versus show videos before Season 2 drops. I've also got a Patreon if you're interested in the Haven Discord, exclusive content and art commissions. Special thanks to my patrons, in particular Andre, Lalaloopsie, Devcole, Colshot and Lauren. Let me know your thoughts on the teaser in the comments below. See you next time.